Look, I'm not trying to brag, okay? I always admit where I have my limitations in life. Like if you came to me and said, "Do I consider myself to be a singer?" I would say no. No. Okay. I am not. See, I consider high level singers to be someone like, it depends on what genre we're talking about. If we're talking about rock, Steve Perry from Journey was probably the greatest rock singer that ever lived. You know what I mean? It all depends on the genre. If you're talking about jazz, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, you know what I mean? So it all depends really, like what are we talking about? What genre? But the point is, do I consider myself to be a singer? No. No. But I've reached a level on the piano that is very, very high level. And without having a high IQ. See, musicians are very similar to mathematicians. There's a lot of math that is involved in music. People don't realize it in terms of the modes, in terms of the scales, in terms of the theory behind the music. It's very, very much like math. And if you don't have a very high IQ, like you just can't reach a certain level. Like you will not be able, like, and it doesn't even have to be like, I'll give you an example. I'm going to give you a few examples. You could take most jazz musicians, like let's just talk about Miles Davis. Now, it would appear like if you listen to Miles Davis talk, right? He can't say a sentence without cursing, without saying like, fuck. Like I was reading his autobiography, right, Miles Davis, and literally the whole book, you should read it. Every sentence he's like mother effer or fuck. So you would just automatically assume maybe that someone who curses every sentence does not have a high IQ. Miles Davis, to me, was equivalent in terms of his intellect to Albert Einstein. Okay, I mean, Miles Davis was a genius, a genius. John Coltrane, same thing, genius. Chick Corea, genius. Herbie Hancock, genius. I could go on and on and on. And it is physically impossible to reach the levels that they've reached on their instrument without having an extremely high IQ. Now, like I said, I know my limitations in life, but if you're talking to me about the piano, no. I would go head to head with anybody who's a piano player. I've sat in with the greatest musicians on the piano, and they all told me that I'm a high level, I'm a top player. Am I a singer? No, I'm not. So I said, look, I sing for fun. It's recreation. It's like, like it's the same thing like working out. Like I'll give you an example. Like I do it for fun. I'm not Teddy Zane. I'm not like a true professional. I'm not, Stallone. See, I'm not Schwarzenegger. You got to know your limitations in life. Okay, so that like Tendie, whatever that friggin' idiot's name is, Tendie Time. His intellect is limited to what food he'll eat with dirt. That's it. That's as far as his intellect goes. He's like, yeah. So today I was gonna eat maybe a little steak, but with dirt, chicken with dirt. Anything. It's all with dirt, and he adds his pubic hairs to it. Okay, Teddy Time has an IQ in the single digits. And I could just tell, listen, if I was on the phone with Teddy, I would ask him very simple questions. Very simple questions that I'm actually willing to make a bet. All right. I'll make a monetary bet. I will with Teddy Time that he will not be able to answer 10 of my questions. Like he would have to get 8 out of 10 right. Okay. And of course, there would be a time limit on this because see, but I would ask him questions that you actually physically have to think. You have to think. In other words, it would be physically impossible to Google it. You won't be able to Google it. It would be something where he'll have to think on the spot. That's it. And I would give him a very short period of time, to answer it, to ensure that he's not doing a Google search but I would actually make sure that the questions I'm asking him, you will not be able to do a Google search on. Okay. So it'll involve most likely mathematics. And Tendie Time. If you ask this guy 2 plus 2, he's going to tell you 7. This guy has no idea what's going on.